Warning, if you're easily offended, triggered, or considered a snowflake by your friends, you're listening to the wrong podcast. The views and opinions you're about to hear are raw, unfiltered, and without any regard for political correctness.
I'm offended.
Shut up. Longtime friends Scott, Will, DV, and Jay dive deep into issues that other podcasts are too scared to talk about.
No topic is off limits.
All opinions are welcome.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Unlike some other popular panel shows, you know what we're talking about. These four friends have no agenda other than to tell it like it is. This is The Big Divide.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Big Divide. This is Season 1, Episode 8, baby. We just chewing them down. This is awesome. Listen, this is a show where multiple cultures, my friends from different cultures come together to talk about stuff. And technically, we haven't talked about much because we started this in election season. Do we have Will Montez out there? You out there, bro?
I am here in the house, young man.
The Hispanics are represented. How about my favorite guy from the East Coast, DV Robertson, whose name sounds like a girl?
What up, Scoot? I am here, man. Appreciate that.
He wasn't ready for that, I'm sure.
There you go.
And how about my Jewish friend there, Jay Abramovitz?
Yeah, the tribe is in the house. I'm actually coming to you today from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steel City. I came here to oversee the recounts.
That a boy. We need somebody out there, right?
I'm ready.
I appreciate it. All right, guys. Listen, Season 1, Episode 8. We've got a lot to talk about. You know, when I initially started this idea, and I was going to get you guys on, I had plans to talk about like Sasquatch and sports and, whatever's in there, even like movies, right? But unfortunately, the news has been crazy around, obviously, politics. And we're right in the middle of we're still on election night. I mean, election night technically is now we're 2.5 weeks past election night. We had election night party, went great. We went to bed. We thought Donald Trump had it in the bag. I even had friends around the country texting me very angry text. They were all on they were Biden supporters. They were like, your guy is the terrible guy, and I hope you enjoy his next four. They were sending me texts like that. They were all angry. I go to bed and I wake up in the morning. And it had all changed. It became very interesting. So
You've got mail.
Let's talk about that. In fact, the mail that we have today, actually we have a comment from a very interesting historical figure, Thomas Jefferson, off the YouTube comments. I'm going to read this because I think it sets us up very well. I know Jay had contacted me. He said he had some thoughts he wanted to share with us today. So let me get to this first. So because we love our audience more than we love ourselves. So if you guys want to leave a comment or ask a question or bring a topic up so that we can actually divert from what's going on crazy in this country. This whole situation is a prime example of the deep state corruption. It was a Trump landslide. Multiple states at the same time stopped their calling because they had to know how much illegible, I think illegitimate would be a better illegitimate votes that they had to manufacture in order to push Biden over the top. Completely unbelievable. So that was from Thomas Jefferson. I couldn't agree more. I concur with the craziness that happened overnight. Something unprecedented was going on. If you're not questioning that, then I think you're crazy. Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
I think it's pretty cool that one of the founding fathers weighed in from the other side.
I'm with you. I mean, how many other podcasts have that?
I don't think any do. That would be a precedent right there.
Right. Will or DV?
I concur. Right. The election was a farce, and the world sees it, but the media denies it. Right? It never happened. Prove it to us. Right. They kept the election away from us, from poll seekers, poll watchers, to observe, and yet they come up with the fraud, and now they're telling us, you know what? Prove to us that we committed fraud. What a beautiful system for them. Holy cow. Oh, no. I'm curious to find out what DV believes. Come on, DV.
Okay.
He doesn't believe anything. He's just laughing.
See, it's interesting when you hear coming from Will, his take on it, and that's, he's entitled to that. But and then for it to say it was a Trump landslide, I don't agree with that.
It was.
Hey, we had to. Both candidates had to get to 270. And he wasn't there when everyone was saying it was a landslide. It wasn't even close. So, I don't agree that Trump had won it. We didn't have a clear winner. So we just had to get all the votes in, and that's what we saw. So
do we have a clear winner right now?
Yeah, we have a clear winner now.
And that's it right there. That right there represents exactly how we're all split, right? He's like, it's a clear winner because he's listening to the media project him. They coronated him on Saturday when all the other news channels, right? We're not doing any business on Saturday. All the legals, all the courts are shut down. Anything legal shut down. The law office is shut down. But we're gonna make him president on Saturday with a big presentation, a bunch of speeches, and all the media who have been against Donald Trump for 4 years had Joe Biden winning. So you say he is a clear winner when he hasn't won anything yet, but you believe it because somebody told you that.
He has been determined the president elect of our country. So
by who? Hold on. I loved it. I love this. By who?
Oh, you like you just said, the media. So if we're going to go by, because you guys have yet to tell me who to trust. So if you're saying, hey, the media has determined this, and all of the media outlets are against Donald Trump, but then you have so who are we supposed to believe? So who is the trusted source of all of these media outlets?
How about the electorates? How about the electorates?
Okay, so the electoral votes, right, have Biden. But 290.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
This proves that you have no idea. You know what? I'm going to sign you up for a civics class. Give me a junior college that you're close to in your area. I'm going to get online right now. I'm going to get my credit card out. I'm going to sign you up for a civics course at your local junior college, so you understand exactly how presidents are picked.
Okay, so what is so tell me then, Scott, what is the determination of who won?
Don't answer that, Scott. Yeah, don't answer that. Hold on.
Why not?
because stop right here. All right. I just want to say something, DV. All right. You not knowing how the Constitution works when it comes to electoral votes, right? The majority of the Democrats don't understand the Constitution. And the media knows that. And they capitalize on people, all right, that are ignorant about the Constitution.
Okay, so you're here to tell me that that right now the Democrats and the media are so powerful. They are so powerful.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
They think they are.
Okay,
they are.
Here's what I am here to tell you. What the media states about the United States president results, it's false. The media
here's where you guys lose me.
Hold on, wait. Let me say something.
No. Here's where you lost me.
Just let me say this.
Before you could say
the media does not pick the United States president.
Okay, so just
the
like
winner,
what you just
done.
said. Listen, if you're just going to say that, then how is it that you're going to say Donald Trump had it won when all of the results that you were getting from that, you made that determination from the media? You all made that determination from the media. You said we were watching it. We went to bed. It was a landslide. You got that from the media.
Okay, no. Here's why it's a landslide. Here's why I say it's a landslide. Okay, I'm going to tell you why.
You're not addressing what I just said.
I'm going to answer your question. Okay, here's what I say. Why I say it was a landslide. Okay, fraud took place according to me. Right, I'm just going to speak on my behalf. Right, the voting came to a halt. I mean, the counting came to a halt, and they're still counting ballots as of today.
Where did you get that information that they came to a halt?
Oh, let me say this, and let me say my point of view, and then you can question.
It's a good point, Deeves. I mean, I gotta hand it to you.
Let me say my point of view, okay? And then, okay, here's how it was a landslide, okay? All the polls were incorrect. They had Donald Trump losing.
According to who?
Come on, DV, and that's just it. You don't want to hear it. Most Democrats don't want to hear it. I'm being rational and I'm giving you my point of view, and you can't even hear my point of view. And that's the problem in America right now. Right? Okay. I'm giving you an answer, and you're not even listening to me fully 100% with my answer. And I'm telling you why I said it was a landslide. Me, William Montez. Okay. Because they stopped the counting all of a sudden. And Donald Trump was in the lead. And all of a sudden, he's not in the lead, right? In multiple states, swing states, okay?
But that poses the question for me,
Let me say this. State legislatures, okay, they remained Republican. In New Hampshire, it was turned from a Democrat state legislature to a Republican state legislature. And,
I get it, Will, but I get it.
And here's the thing. Well, hold on. And let me say my last point. In the House, the Democrats lost many seats. Many seats. The Republicans gained multiple seats in the House of Representatives. Okay? So that in itself, how is it that we can gain seats, not lose one, but yet lose the election? Just think about that.
So my question still remains. My question still remains the same. Where did you get this information from, Will? Did you get a phone call from these people directly?
Look, here's where I got the information.
Did they email you?
Okay, here's where I got the information. The person's name, the man's name is Mark Levine. And he does a show on the United States Constitution because he's a constitutional scholar.
That media? Is that media?
See, that's not media. He's not a reporter. He's not a reporter. He's telling us how the Constitution works. Okay. And he had a judge on there. Okay. That led the impeachment.
Listen, before it gets too late, Mark Levine did work for.
It's Mark Levine, guys.
Levine, yeah. Levine. He worked with Reagan in that administration. So he's been around. He is a student of the Constitution. He's a constitutionalist, right? Now, but that doesn't. Here's the thing. DV, you want to rewind to where Will got his information. You said, and you still haven't answered my question, right? So you said Donald Trump, and this is a quote from you, he has been determined that Biden is elected. Determined by who? And you're like, well, the media. I'm like, okay, do they determine the winner of the election? No, we won't know until the electorate's all certified mid-December, right? So we won't really know.
I agree with that.
So hold on. I'm not done. So you're listening to a media and it's proof that you're listening to me is because you said it's been determined that Biden has won. So you're listening to a media that's told you this, celebrated, had speeches about it, right? And there's another media, which is right-wing media, that says, wait, hang on, guys. So the right-wing media is telling us nothing has been determined yet. The electors have not been certified. And the left-wing media is telling you that Biden is the winner. Who is correct?
Good point.
Are you asking me that question?
Oh, yeah. I'm asking you who is correct that the president had. So you said president's been determined. I heard it on the media. Well, you heard it from left-wing media. The right-wing media is telling us all, wait a minute, nobody conceded and electorates haven't been certified yet. So which side of the media is correct? The right wing that is actually saying, wait a minute, nobody's conceded and the electorates haven't certified. But the left-wing media is going, nope, he's the president. Who's correct?
Okay,
I want you to answer. Right. A right or left wing would be correct. Which one?
Neither, according to you guys.
Why?
You're saying the media, the right wing and the left wing.
No. I'm asking.
They're media.
According to
if the right wing's telling you, if the right wing media is telling you, hey, we don't know who the president is because nobody has conceded, the counts aren't done yet, and the electorates aren't certified yet. Is that accurate?
But his conceding doesn't.
DV, is that accurate that nobody's conceded? Would you agree that nobody's conceded?
Yeah, Donald Trump hasn't conceded. You're saying nobody.
Okay,
Donald Trump hasn't conceded.
Did Biden concede?
Why would he concede?
Why would Donald Trump concede?
Because he lost. He lost.
Based on what?
So again, we're basing off what the reports are saying, because this is where we're getting. I don't sit in the electoral college and wait for them to tell us, okay, who it is. But
I'm asking a simple question.
So you say he lost? Yeah, we're saying that Donald Trump lost. Yes.
I didn't say that. Neither the media that I'm listening to said he's lost.
So again, okay. So if you guys are educating me, and if I'm sitting here saying you're going to educate me on how it is determined that our president is elected.
Yep.
Where do we get this information from?
So, Stevie, let me ask you.
No.
Right?
You guys have
but Scott asked you the right question, and you refuse to answer his question on your point of view.
So let me say it this way.
The right media is saying something, and the left media is saying something.
No, I'm not. Listen, I don't care about the medias right now. Let's just deal with the facts. But I don't care about media. Davey, I want you to answer a question based on what we know about facts, right? Did Biden concede?
No.
Did Trump concede?
No.
Okay, so that is one way that a president moves on, that this whole thing moves on. Normally, in our lifetimes, we've heard people concede. So somebody on electoral night, it doesn't feel like somebody's going to become elector. They come out on stage and concede.
Okay, right? So let me help me understand this. Help me understand this, Scott. You're saying did Biden concede? What would Biden concede to?
He can concede the election. Like, guys, I lost. I'll see you later. Even if he's up in the electorates. Listen, Hillary Clinton was up in popular vote 2016. She came out and conceded the next day.
All right. And what determined that why she would
because she's determined herself that she's going to lose.
Okay.
So she says, I'm going to lose. I concede.
Right. So you asked me if Biden conceded, and I said no. But why would he concede? So why would someone concede to a? That's
not the. But you're asking me a question that's alternative to the question. I'm asking you simple, straight fact questions. Not why would he concede? I don't know about his brain. Right. I don't know about Donald Trump's brain. Right. I can't think for Biden. Did either candidate concede, DV?
So the answer is no.
Okay, so we know that. So based on that relevant situation, that could actually create the next president. Them somebody conceding, all right? Hey, I'm lost. I'm out. See you guys later. Next, the last guy standing wins, right? Okay, that did not occur. Okay, so now what's the next step to determine the president?
Great question.
The votes.
Yes. Are we done counting votes in every state?
Last I checked, I thought we were.
No, we're not even close. Not even close.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
We're not talking about recounts. We're not talking about recounts.
Hey, guys, can we agree that all of us, everybody, assimilates information we get from the media, which DV is really cleverly pointing out, and I mean that in a good way, that how do we trust the media, left or right? Can't we all agree that we assimilate that information through our own lens? And if we're inclined to believe left, we believe left. And if we're inclined to believe right, we believe right. I think we'd all have to agree to that. The argument coming from the right, now I'm addressing Davey, the argument coming from the right now is that we're putting together a collection of events and facts and information that isn't adding up. That's where the problem is coming from. And none of us has definitive answers.
Jay, I agree with your point of view. Okay. Here's what angers me. Okay. I'll use the word anger. Okay. Most people believe the media. Right. So when Scott asks, hey, the right wing media is saying something and the left
I don't agree with that. Wait a minute, Will.
Let me finish.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Most people don't believe the media. We're split.
And I get, but here's my point, Jay. Hey, let me finish my point. Right? When Scott asked Davey the question, okay, the right wing media is saying something, and the left wing media is saying something else. Who do we trust? And that's where people, right, don't go and do their due diligence. It's called the United States.
You have not answered the question.
No, stop. He asked you a certain direct question. Hey, who do you trust? And you can't trust anyone. So where do you get your information? It's called the United States Constitution. And there's nowhere in the United States Constitution that says the media decides the winner of the president. Done.
Yeah, but we're talking about from the and when I say that we know that the media doesn't determine the presidents, they're just reporting from the results. So if we got to be clear of that, I'm not saying that the media makes the determination of who becomes our president. They're just. But
you were stating that Biden won according to the media.
Okay,
that's false
because that's what they're reporting. Will come
exactly,
on.
And 99% of the media is lying to us.
Guys, There's another distinction here that I think is worth looking at, because Stevie is bringing up some very fair points. While the media does, in fact, report, they declared a winner. That's not a report. They declared a winner based on the way they analyzed the votes as they were coming in and being reported by the states. Therein lies a huge gap in credibility.
Yeah, can I interject there? And I'll tell you why. And DV, here's what happened. We were here at the party, and you were online. Will was online watching the election go on. At 14% of the vote, Fox News called Arizona for Biden at 14%, which means that we had 86% of the vote to count. Yet the media called it for Biden.
And isn't just to say, Fox is for Trump?
No,
I wouldn't say. I would not say that.
No, it was set up that way.
Here's what I say. I think
the media. Who's more
hold on a minute.
Trump
Hold on a minute. You ask a question. I'm going to answer. Here's my opinion on that. Fox News is not favoring Trump. Chris Wallace, Caputo, they're not Trump fans. However, Fox Opinion, like Hannity and Ingram, Judge Jeanine, who got canceled, I like Tucker because he's pretty much straight down the middle. He's a good dude. He's a libertarian. But the opinion side of Fox is definitely conservative. But the news side is, I don't even know if I wouldn't say they're not conservative. They're just Trump haters, right? Especially the decision desk. The guy at the decision desk had been found that he had actually donated to the guy who makes the decision desk at Fox.
His name is Arnon Mishkin, and he's even admitted that he's left in his thinking.
Yeah, he's left. Yeah. So there you go, DV. This is us knowing stuff because, and you know me, I'm sending you stuff all the time and you're like, dude, you're obsessed. I'm like, dude, I gotta be obsessed right now. I got a podcast to run that you're going to be on. I'm going to fillet you. So
I'm looking at, I pulled it up. So how to become the president of the United States.
Oh my God. We're going to read this on a podcast.
This is USA Gov, right? And it says Electoral College is, it's a little chart, and we don't have time to go on all that, but it shows all the numbers for the.
All right, so study that for next week. How's that sound? I don't feel like
but if you guys are saying that I said that the president is determined by the media, that's not what I'm saying. You asked, say it. We said how do I know that he became the president, that he won? I'm simply saying that the media reported that that's who won. I'm not saying that the media determines who's the president. If we're saying that there's fraud, when they talk about the process of how people's vote goes in, if any of that didn't occur, then yeah, we may have some issues. But across the board, again, the reports are coming out that there's no evidence of fraud, that's a huge claim because now you're involving ordinary citizens in this. This is not just about Democrat and Republican. This is about citizens who are either being controlled by a greater power or they're all in it together. And that's a serious charge. And that's a federal crime. So what are we saying? Are we saying it just the Democrats?
Well, let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn. So that we can actually get it. You're asking a question. Let's go around the horn, just like I do when I read the thing. I'm like, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? So what's your question? What kind of thoughts you want to get from everybody on the panel here?
If we believe it's fraud, then that means the American people are in on this, not just the Democrats.
So
do you believe that's the case?
That's a weird generalization right there.
Davey, do you believe that fraud occurred in this election? Yes or no?
I don't.
Thank you very much.
Not one bit. Not one instance of fraud. You don't think happened.
There's always going to be some kind of incidents.
Okay, so now we're gotten to now we're making an exact. So you said no, I don't, and now I've got you going. Well, there's always going to be something.
Well, because you just said not one, but
yeah, I know.
Let's say it this way. Let me say it this way. Do I believe that there was fraud going on that will determine or that will alter this election? I do not. I don't believe.
Okay, so you don't think there's a possibility that this thing could have been altered by some type of major by major players to make sure that Donald Trump would not be elected.
Not to the extent that it would alter the outcome of who became president. I don't believe that.
Go around the horn here.
Okay,
what do you think? Go ahead, Will, and don't go crazy.
No, I won't go crazy. DV, you and I were live Facebook during the election. Okay, you and I. Danny got on there, and he goes, votes magically changing in favor of Biden. Right. And I remember that dream in episode 5 that I had, a vivid dream. Well, that is now called reality because it's called Dominion. The computer software in one county of Michigan's 47 counties that this software system was used. Votes, 6,000 votes have been proven cast for Trump changed electronically to Biden. And that software system, Dominion, was used in various states throughout the United States of America. And it's proven. And it's called Scorecard, Hammer. If you look at this, there's watermarks on the ballots. It's proven already.
See, when you say it's proven, who proved that?
Hang on a second.
It's going to the courts.
You're going way over the edge here.
That's
way
Willie,
over the
though.
edge.
Willie's,
I get it. Forget about watermarks. Forget about Hammer. Forget about Scorecard. That right now, that's just chatter. Just keep it at that. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
That's good, Jay. I take that. Okay. How about dead people casting their votes?
I hear you. Okay.
In the thousands.
That's been proven.
It's proven.
Yeah, DV.
It is proven already. That is proven. They got affidavits. Right? They got affidavits.
So, DV, there is 131 different whistleblowers right now with signed affidavits declaring that they witnessed fraud.
So I would ask Tristan to bring up that because that clip because
bring up your clip.
Address that.
Yeah, let's go.
There are so many levels of security that go into every part of this election. You can't just walk in and get a ballot. You have to be registered, or in Wisconsin, you can then register when you're there, but you have to prove where you live. So there is a kind of a radical level of transparency at every level. People can watch any of the steps. We require voters to have a photo ID, and so they're identified when they come in. Or even by absentee, you have to have a photo ID when you request an absentee ballot. We've had several recounts in the last few years, and they basically have stopped because after a couple of them, everyone realizes this is really accurate. Canvass occurs after polls are closed, a couple days later. We go over all the results to make sure there wasn't a mistake.
All right, who was that? I don't know that guy.
So this guy is an election official. I don't have his name in there, but he was an election official giving you the process of how the election process works and the securities that go in and part of it. So
okay,
so
here's a question, DV. I got a question for you that might upend your ideas or your thing. Is this year different than all the other years he's referring to?
What do you mean by is this year different?
I don't know. You tell me. Is there anything different? What's the major difference this year than all the other things he might be referencing?
Maybe more or less voters?
No.
That's the only thing I can think of.
No. COVID and the Democrats in these, and that's a Democrat governor, and that's that state of Wisconsin, and they mailed out millions of ballots to people who didn't request them. They mailed out. This was the mail-in stuff. So when the media was saying there's been mail-in voting forever, no, that's been absentee voting. Where as an absentee voter, you have to request a ballot absentee, and then they check your name off. And there have been people that went to go vote. There's witnesses. They went to the polls to vote, and they're like, no, you already got your absentee ballot. And they're like, we didn't ask for one, which means that somebody requested it for them. So that has occurred. But this year, they did something they've never, ever, ever done before. Mm-hmm. The Democrat Party and the Democrats have been like, it's COVID. We got to do mail-in. Let's just flood the market full of all these ballots, even though people aren't requesting them. Anybody on the register, anybody registered to vote, you're going to get a mail-in ballot sent to you, whether you like it or not. That's what occurred this year. And it's never occurred before.
I didn't get a mail-in vote.
Well, somebody took yours and filled it out for somebody else.
Exactly.
Yours was harvested then.
But Didi,
okay,
I have
here's all I have to say more on the issue, right? If it has to go to the ultimately, because we could sit here and go back and forth with what we believe and what we hear and all this kind of stuff, right? Here's what I say: if it has to go to the courts, because this is much bigger than a Democrat or a Republican thing and who's the winner and loser in this, right? If there was fraud and it's going to be proven in the courts, then we'll address it at that point there, and we can get this all straightened out. But everything else is just speculation. You guys are gonna, hey, you claim your candidate that you would favor won, and then now other people are saying, hey, no, that wasn't what happened. This other guy actually won. We even waited for more votes and things to come in. So because they still don't know who to trust, then I say, if it needs to go to the courts, then let it go to the courts. I don't think it'll get to that. But if we believe that the Democrats have that much power, then I say, you know what? Then they deserve to be in office, and then we need to run the world if they can do something like that. And up under the American people.
Wow, there's a very scary thought.
Let them run the world. They can do that, right, man.
They got the power. Let's let them run. Yeah,
and that's their objective. That's their objective. It's called socialism.
All I'm simply saying is, if they're able to do that, then they're doing a hell of a job of it. Because hey, if they can get away with it,
right? But they're breaking the law at the same time.
Here's what scares me about it all. Here's what scares me. After this election, if they get away, and listen, let me give you my anomalies, my list of anomalies that has me question this very election. Right. Anomaly number one, which I think, and here's the anomalies that I think a scientist, if you took a scientist in a lab coat who just loves numbers, he's a complete intellect and just goes crazy over the statistics of it all. If you took a scientist and said, okay, scientist, this year, both candidates broke the record for any other winning president in history. So the two most popular people in the United States history went up against each other in this election. Both candidates broke the records, number one and number two, right now as it stands. You don't think a scientist would be like, well, we got to check that out. We should go back and really check that out because that sounds a little crazy. You always check you always recheck the extremes. That's anomaly number one for me. The second anomaly, which is not being disputed by anybody, not even the left-wing media, there were vote dumps at 4 a.m. on the 4th in Michigan and Wisconsin, over 100,000 votes for Biden only in Wisconsin and Michigan at 4 a.m. Only Biden. And here's the answer I get from the people I bring that up to. Well, it was mail-in votes that came in, and yeah, everybody was voting for Biden that were mailing in. I'm like, come on, that is a crazy thought there. That no Trump votes would come in at 4 a.m. It was just Biden. So if I went to a scientist, now what do you think about that? So statistically, only Biden votes came in at 4 a.m. at the over 100,000 in Wisconsin, 100,000 in Michigan, which had him past Donald Trump at that point. It was looking like Donald Trump, with the number of votes had come in, had actually taken those two states. They'll be like, yeah, we should check that too, because that sounds crazy. And let's just take a look at those 4 a.m. dumps. Let's just take a look at those ballots and go through them and check signatures and check stuff. So that's another anomaly for me. The other anomaly, which has been proven, I've sent videos to you guys, was that vote totals were changing even on CNN. So there was a 19,000 votes that came away from Trump and went to Biden in an instant. As they slowed down the video, it was shown Donald Trump was subtracted 19,000 and Biden got 19,000. Should we check that out? Should that be questioned? There's a lot of things going on here that I think should be questioned on a systemic level. And this is why I don't think it's going to be the one or two dead people that voted. I think it's going to be ballots being dumped off at a polling station or a counting station in vans that were blocked off with the paper in front of the windows. And there's a lot of stories about at 4 the reason they did it at 4 a.m. is they told all the Republican, the conservative watchers and the Democrat watchers, all right, guys, it looks like we got all the votes in. And there was a lady that had a video going on. She goes, this is a little weird. A Ferrari, a Chrysler, and a van loaded with ballots just showed up at 4 a.m. And they told us all to go home a half an hour earlier. That's an anomaly. These are anomalies that I think need to be checked out. And that is why I question the results of this election. Too many ballots in the system. There's two of the most popular guys, and that bull crap right there. That's crazy. The 4 a.m. ballot drops have not been denied. Everybody's explaining away like, well, mail-in ballots. Everybody wanted Biden, so I guess the mail-in ballots 4 a.m. go okay. Nope. And here's what's happening in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is saying, look, if they weren't in by 8 p.m. on 3rd, then there's about 450,000 votes that shouldn't be counted. Alito said, okay, set those aside. We may not be counting those. So Pennsylvania may be going back to Trump. So that's where I'm at. These are anomalies that I question. And I do not want to see I do not want anybody to concede until answers to those questions. For me personally, as a voter, until I get answers to those questions, nobody should concede.
Can I have a few minutes to share some thoughts?
Go for it, dude. You're the older guy. You don't have that much time left. So being that old.
Yeah. So let me get to it. All right. It is a dark time in America, my friends, and I'm not speaking of the election result so much as I am about the election process.
Exactly.
I have been deeply troubled since the election 10 days ago. I've had tremendous difficulty organizing my thoughts and focusing on the most critical issues of the last week, and that's partly due to the fact that there are so many critical issues, so much evidence of trouble in America, and so much evidence of unhealthy change in this country. This morning, I read a column by Dennis Prager that I think sums up a lot of what I've been grappling with. And I'd like to share an edited version of that column right now, hitting on 11 salient points. And for those that aren't familiar with Dennis Prager, he's a conservative radio talk show host and a writer. He is deeply insightful, wickedly intelligent, and he's not a flamethrower. He also produces a series of these roughly 5-minute animated videos on social and political issues at PragerU, PragerU.com. And I highly recommend you check it out. Here are some of the thoughts on the state of the country a week after the 2020 elections, actually 10 days after as we do this. Number one, while I'm not certain the reported election results are dishonest, I suspect they are. Worse, about half the country believes this too. This is unprecedented in American history. One might counter that this is not unprecedented, that this was precisely what half the American electorate felt in 2000 when many Democrats rejected the 2000 Supreme Court decision regarding Florida's ballot counting, but that was entirely different. No one at that time alleged widespread Republican fraud in the election of George W. Bush. The issue in that extremely close election involved a faulty voting system that resulted in hand recounts using differing ballot counting standards from one jurisdiction to the next. Liberal justices joined the 7-2 vote in ruling for Bush that the recounts could not constitutionally go forward. Therefore, the fact that nearly half the country is far from certain that Joe Biden was honestly elected is unprecedented. Half this country believes, with good reason, that if Democrat Party officials believe they can get away with cheating, they will do so. Aside from the Democrats having a history of ballot manipulation, there is an even more compelling reason to believe Democrats would cheat. For 4 years, they have been telling the nation and telling one another that President Donald Trump is a dictator, a fascist, and a white supremacist. Therefore, if a leftist considers himself a moral individual and works in tabulating election results, and he can help prevent the re-election of a white supremacist fascist dictator, wouldn't he do so? Wouldn't he be morally obligated to do so? Number two, for 4 years, the mainstream print and electronic media waged daily, indeed hourly, vicious attacks on Trump as a human being. Rarely did they attack his policies, since they were so beneficial to America and to the world. Some of the greatest economic figures in memory and the lowest black unemployment rate ever recorded, a major weakening of Iran and a major strengthening of Israel-Arab peace. Worse, the media and the Democrat Party immersed the country in a 3-year lie about Trump campaign collusion with Russia, and it still goes on to this day. In spite of that, 72 million Americans still voted for Trump. The Democrats lost seats in the House and will probably not gain control of the Senate, despite the larger number of Republican incumbents who were up for re-election. Americans watched Democrat governors and mayors do nothing as left-wing thugs burned their cities. And then they watch the Democrat mayors and city councils defund their police departments. Look at Minneapolis today. That's one reason Democrats fared so badly. Number 3, the mainstream media is now perceived as fraudulent by half of America. This has never been the case, but from the New York Times, mendacious claim that America's true founding was in 1619 and was founded in order to preserve slavery, for which the equally dishonest Pulitzer Prize Committee awarded the New York Times a Pulitzer Prize, to the entire mainstream press's ignoring the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. Only left-wing Americans now believe the mainstream media. Number 4, the more people hear non-left ideas, the more they gravitate away from the left. As a result, for the first time in American history, free speech is seriously threatened, not by government, but by private companies. Free speech is the most important freedom of all. If we lose it, it is the end of our country as we know it. Number 5, despite 4 years of being accused of racism and xenophobia, Trump increased both his black and Latino vote. If Trump lost honestly, it was due to his diminished white male vote. Number 6, the Democrat Party was once liberal. It's now leftist. And the left, everywhere in the world, suppresses dissent wherever it takes over, from Lenin to Castro, from American universities to Twitter, and the rest of big tech. Number 7, liberals loved America. The left loathes it. Therefore, since the left governs American education, America hatred dominates the education system from kindergarten to graduate school. Number 8, hydroxychloroquine, one of the safest and oldest medications known to man. When given with zinc to almost anyone, as soon as the individual develops symptoms or tests positive with COVID-19, prevents death and even hospitalization in the overwhelming majority of cases. History will likely note that the politicians and scientists who opposed hydroxychloroquine have a lot of blood on their hands. Blood. Those. Yeah. Number 9, those who can work
including almost Willies. Almost Willies.
Yeah, I was pissed off.
Thank God we still have Willie.
Thank God.
Number 9, those who can work from home are far more likely to support lockdowns than those who cannot work from home. As a rule, the former are more likely to be Democrats and more likely to be wealthier than the latter. Number 10, all over the country, stores in big cities were boarded up solely to protect themselves from left-wing rioters should Trump have won. When Biden was declared the winner, the boards came down because everyone knows the conservatives
we're going to loot.
They don't riot. And number 11.
Yeah. And only the DVs of the world riot. That's it.
Well, number 11, if Biden wins, more and more non-left Americans will lose their reputations, their businesses, and their freedom to speak, evidenced by AOC and company's loathsome plan to keep lists of pro-Trumpers for purposes of retribution and exclusion, all of which plausibly renders the Georgia runoffs for the U.S. Senator the most important elections in American history. Sound familiar? It is a dark time in America, my friends.
That was long.
Sorry, but thank you for indulging.
You said 5 minutes. I like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time on a podcast.
It is, but I think it hit the points. I mean, look.
Well, there's a lot of points there I wanted to interject on, but I didn't want it to go longer. I was like, what? I want to jump in on every single one of those points because you could actually spend a whole show just talking about each of those darn points.
We could do that.
Yeah.
And because Dennis Prager summed it up so well, I'm over the top. What we have experienced, I'm over the top. And in 2006, when Bush was in office,
you're not over there.
You're
calm, cool, and collected. What are you talking about?
I get it. But 2001, where he wanted to take us to war, I was saying that there's nothing there. There's no weapons of mass destruction. And I didn't know how to prove it. But I felt my gut feeling there's nothing in there. They're lying to us. The truth came out. And I'll tell you right now, this election, based on what the left has done for the last 5 years, ever since that man came down the escalator, I'm dead serious. It's fraud. It's computer. And I'm putting myself out there. All right. It's my opinion. And I love it. Over the top.
Yeah. And let me just sum it up this way, because it is what it is. I mean, per Trump. We believe. I listen to stuff, and when I hear something, I'm like, and it favors my opinion, I'm like, yes, that's DV, that's what's going on. And then DV will hear what he believes. He's like, well, that's what I believe based on, this is what's going on. Why should Biden?
We all do that.
We all do that, right? That's human nature. But here's what I'm going to bring up what scares me, and then I'm going to have Tristan play my clip really quick here, which is super short. The scary thing for me is if for some reason it is a computer digital, and we live in an age where, now you got quantum computers going on, and we're on the verge of AI, and there's so much thing you can do with technology, 5G networks, right? That we're at a point where we've got to be able to trust the elections, or we don't have in America. And my fear is that this election, if the Democrats do win, if Biden takes it over, and heaven forbid they get the Senate, and oh my God, I believe that elections will become ceremonial. They're like, hey, go vote. But they're like, it doesn't matter. We got all this software that's working for us. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I'm so afraid that that's the case. And then beyond that, if they win, and you just brought up something, even though they think they've won, even though they've been declared the winners, everybody says, all right, we're going to go back to normal, and we need to unify now. You do not see the radical left doing that. You see the radical left making lists of revenge. We're going to make sure that people that supported Trump are not going to get jobs. They're going to be on list. The donors are going to go on list. Like they want punishment, right? And that's not American. So do me a favor.
They actively want punishment.
Oh my gosh!
They actively want retribution right now.
You jump too much rope. Watch some news. All right. So.
Oh my goodness. So again, you just said. So you lean where you get your information. I'm just saying. I haven't seen.
Listen, I want you to play this clip.
Democrats.
Listen.
So you're saying that all of the Democrats are saying we're going to punish all the Republicans.
This is a place I get my news from. Okay. Play the clip I gave you.
CNN host Jake Tapper issued a stark warning to those Trump supporters. Think about what your future employer might think if you take up this crusade of Trump not really losing this election. You see, the results are in. Joe Biden has the Electoral College and is the projected winner. But Donald Trump is saying straight up, no certification yet, and he is going to war. Whether or not anything comes of this is yet to be seen. Today is supposed to be the day when he launches his legal battle. We'll see how this plays out. But I can tell you, if you're one of these voters that thought voting for Joe Biden was a return to normalcy, you are incorrect. And already we're seeing some people say, hey, wait a minute. Joe Biden's going to lock down the country? I wouldn't have voted for him if I knew that. Yes, there are many low information voters. And I'm not trying to be mean, but many people now realizing, things are only going to get even more abnormal. Not only are we likely facing more serious coronavirus lockdowns, but the culture war is only going to get worse. You see, these journalists are not satisfied. The media will not be satiated by a defeat of Donald Trump, and they're telling us this themselves. This isn't enough. We wanted a repudiation of Trumpism. They're saying fall in line, accept the results, and they want an end to Trumpism, which is one of the stupidest things ever.
So that guy right there, his name is Tim Pool, has voted Democrat every time he's voted. Voted for Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. That guy, for the first time, and didn't vote for Trump this year. This time around, he voted for Trump because he hates where the left is leaving him. Right. And what I love about him is he goes, look, you know what? I don't care who's going to win. I'm going to run a show anyway. He goes, but this is my feelings based on what I'm reading. That guy consumes more news than I do. Right. So what I do is I get on his podcast so he can say, hey, I thought this was interesting. Listen to what CNN is going to say. Listen to what Fox is saying. So I'm with him. I'm like, yeah, I want to know. I want to be able to. I want to distill it through the way you see it, because he sees it pretty. He's a center guy. He is actually like, look, I'm a libertarian. I don't believe in wars. I love the peace stuff the reason I'm voting for him is because the peace stuff, he's bringing peace in the Middle East. He goes, peace in the Middle East. Why shouldn't we vote for peace in the Middle East? He's a guy that says, why shouldn't we want voter security? Why don't we want a secure election? Why are we sending out millions of mail-in ballots that can't be tracked? They're going to come back in. Michigan, that is ripe with problems. And he was
There's only one reason to do it.
Yeah. There's only one reason to do it, right? There's only one reason to not have voter ID. There's only one reason to flood the market full of ballots. There's only one reason to do it. What's the reason, Jay?
Well, the reason is because you can shift the votes. You can manipulate the tally. And this is not new from the Democrats. They've been talking about voter suppression because they didn't want voter ID for years and years. When COVID came along, they recognized this is the opportunity and we are going to use it.
That's it. Don't never let a good crisis go to waste. And I'm going to go as far as this. Now, you might think I'm conspiratorial, but I do believe that, okay, there's a virus out there and they're like, oh, this gives us a chance to lock down the economy, destroy it, because if it keeps going the way it's going, we're going to get killed. Right. So I think that this whole year was a very orchestrated move, all the way to the desperation of, gosh, let's check out. I believe, guys, that if the Electoral College, if for some reason the election night was looking favorable to Biden, you would not have seen 4 a.m. ballot drops. If they would have seen if they'd have seen all those states blue by 11 o'clock when we all went home and everybody stood up and goes, all right, guys, we're going to go to bed now and we'll find out what happens tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, like, shh. Hey,
I agree with you. Why risk getting caught if you don't have to?
Yes, if you don't need it, don't take the chance, right? But they're like, dude, we're getting killed in Wisconsin, we're getting killed in Michigan, we're getting killed in Pennsylvania. Bring in the van full of ballots that we actually harvested from all those mail-in ballots we never got a verification for or any kind of sign off on. Hey, DV's ballot, you got DV's ballot because we harvested that one because he didn't see it. Yeah, bring in DV's ballot.
And then ask yourself, why were the mail-in ballots counted last? Because they needed to know the number.
That's right.
Come on.
Well, here's what I got to interject here, because I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but here's what I want to say. So you mean to tell me at that time they've already had it in Michigan, in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin. They already had these vans loaded with all these ballots to say, oh, hey, we're getting crushed in here, so bring those in. That was already predetermined in those particular states.
138,000 in Michigan.
That's when they brought them in.
Over 100,000 in Wisconsin and 138,000 in Michigan, almost at the same time. So
that means they had to have known that, hey, in case we're going to be losing, this is where we're going to be losing this race.
I think we're getting DV. I think DV's catching up.
No, okay.
Hey, DV, I wait a second, because that's a really fair question. I like the way you asked it. I like the way you asked it. I'm going to weigh in here and say I don't know that for a fact. I'm just telling you that it looks highly suspicious. Everybody knew where the election was going to be won or lost.
You're going back on what you just said.
It's a gut. Well, how do you feel about that, Jay? Do you think that happened? Does your gut tell you that they were doing that?
Yes, it does, but I don't have proof of that. No, Will, wait, there's a difference between thinking it happened and knowing it happened. I don't have the evidence of it.
Okay, so here's a question. Here's a question. This is what I'm hoping. My hope, my huge hope is that they knew it was going to happen. They were prepped for it. That's why they have all these affidavits signed. They have whistleblowers on the ground that were checking things out. And I do believe, I have hope, and I believe, because I want to, that this is already known and this is what's going to show up in the courts.
Yes, I want to see it play out in the courts for exactly that reason. I believe it happened. I don't have the evidence. And until we have it, you can't state it as fact. You just can't.
Okay, but let's say something, right? I want to play something from Biden's own lips saying he will not claim victory until all ballots are counted. Watch.
Will you pledge not to declare victory until the election is independently certified?
Yes, and here's the deal. We count the ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until Election Day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. Once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome.
So why is he not following what he said?
I'm shocked the politician went back on what they said they would do.
And everything that typical Joe says, he goes back on. And you just said it. Right? The points that you read from Prager, okay, this guy is not following. right? It's a conspiracy, and it's going to be proven. I feel it in my gut. Come January 20th, Donald Trump will be inaugurated for his second term.
Well, we have to wait to see how it plays out.
Hillary Clinton and Pelosi and Schiff will be up against a wall, the firing line.
I hope for the sake of the country, again, whoever wins this, life is still going to be the same. I hope for the sake of the country, like we don't have that level of corruption in our system. But if we do, I hope it does get revealed. I hope it does get revealed, because regardless of if Biden won by fraud, I hope it's revealed, because that's not what we need, because that doesn't help us as a country.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. But at the same time, I'm not jumping on your ship, Will. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not asking you.
Because what you're saying, because you're telling me all these things been proven. It's been proven. And yet,
there's affidavits. There are affidavits. How about, did you see the new? Let me ask you this.
But if someone goes to court and there's an affidavit out there, but that doesn't mean.
Did you see the news? Right.
Well, this is where I have.
Let me say this really quick. Did you see the news in Detroit where they were
that's the media.
Up? Oh, hold on.
I can't trust them.
Hold on. Just let me ask the question. That they were boarding up the windows, preventing Republican posters from observing. Did you see that? That's illegal.
I'm gonna have a hard time answering that, because you're telling me I shouldn't trust the media, and then you want me to watch the media of this happening. So,
but you're saying that our media, and here's the problem: our media is incorrect. So I'm asking you, where do you get your news sources? Where everything that we're telling you, you question, but where are you? What are you bringing to the table to say, you know what? This is what I found out from my media. Right. And let us question what you're saying. But it's like we're the one who's bringing up the evidence, and you're questioning it like it's not real.
Yeah, he brought up. He played a clip. And then I said, OK, but that election official is talking about past elections, and this election was much different with the mail-in ballots. So we had that conversation. He played something.
Okay, what you said on Tim Pool, right? Jake Tapper from CNN, the blacklist on Trump current White House officials. The list is being made, and Devi said, you know what? I can't believe that, but it's all over the media. AOC is activating,
There's a website out there like called Trump Watch or something.
It's the Lincoln Project.
The Accountability Project is, hey, we've got to go find out who supported Donald Trump and make sure that they are punished.
Does that sound a little Stalinistic to you?
Yeah, but the Lincoln Project, they put out two lawyers, a male and a female.
Yeah,
all their information.
They doxed them.
Let's go make them pay. That is dangerous.
So look, guys, maybe there's a perverted silver lining here. As I see it, this has been going on for a long time. I don't think this is anything new, but the level and the intensity that is taking place now is new. And maybe this is a result of feeling overconfident, if you're corrupt, you get away with it a time, and then another time, and then a third time, your confidence builds and you do it more, you become more brazen. And maybe this is, as a result, this is going to be so evident to the American people that we're finally going to see what it is. I hope that's the case.
That's my hope. That is my hope right there. And here's my other thing.
I believe in Levine.
Here's a problem with this, guys. And I don't see it. This is the bad part of it. I believe if corruption at the level I believe it to be at, where, 138,000 votes at 4 a.m., and it's tagged to the Democrats, then you're going to see the destruction of the Democrat Party. If for some reason the Democrats get away with this and they want to dox, they want to go after people, then you're going to see the destruction of the Republican Party. So there is on the brink here is a huge pendulum swing to one way or another right now. I think if for some reason they get away with if it happened, if there was a systematic technological fraud happened here. Now, we're just not talking about a dead guy voting. We're talking about 138,000 votes went in. Nobody questioned it. It happened. If that occurred, then
you're going to see a leftward shift.
Our elections are ceremonial now.
Yeah. Right? So then why don't we do a complete recount? Even for the
I'm into that, states, but you guess who's not into that?
Why don't we do a complete recount?
Yeah,
a total recount.
Sounds good. That's what Georgia's doing.
We're talking about states that Trump
what Georgia's
won.
doing. Georgia is doing a recount and a recanvass.
By hand.
Then why don't we just do that completely?
I'm with you, DV. Why don't you get a hold of your congressperson out there in Virginia and suggest that in Virginia?
And by the way, DV, just to address something.
Because what I don't hear, because I believe there's corruption on both sides. I can believe it because it could be the same thing when they were trying to protect Trump. People on the Republican side,
what, DV?
If you think that was, prove it.
DV, it would defy logic to say that there's no corruption coming from the Republican side. It would defy logic. I can't.
Right. But I can't argue with that. That's all I'm saying is I'm not hearing that from you guys in terms of, it's just all of the corruption.
Well, you just heard it, but I will say this. This is my belief again. I don't have proof of it. The level of corruption doesn't compare.
Yeah.
The Republicans are pikers.
You did not see a 4 a.m. ballot draw for Trump, did you? All Trump ballots versus all Biden ballots?
But that too is speculation.
What's speculation? What's speculation? It never happened
where the ballots were dumped for Biden.
No, DV, that is not.
Where did you get that information from?
That the ballots came in is not speculation.
That is not speculation. Nobody's denying that.
But they're reporting that in the media, right?
What we're questioning.
I'm asking the question, guys. I'm asking.
What we're questioning is the source of the ballots and the way they counted all 100% for one candidate. Come on, I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, I'm not dumb either. Davey, you may be playing dumb, but I'm not going to claim.
I'm not playing dumb. I'm saying you're saying that it came in. So really, what I'm getting
I'm your friend. I'm your friend. I heard it. I saw the graph. I saw I can send you the graph. I think I even sent you the graph of the two graphs going up, and all of a sudden there was a spike for Biden in Wisconsin and Michigan. I sent you that.
So the graph is what got my attention.
I understand what I'm saying. Okay, if we're going to believe that happened, that the dump happened, and nobody's arguing, and no one has questioned that happened or not. So we're going to say that's true.
Yes,
and that was reported in media because none of us saw it. So if we're going to believe that from the media,
no, it wasn't the media giving me that. It was the people doing the counting. It was the actual. The institution that's counting that said, "Oh, look at these spikes. That's interesting."
The states reported.
Yeah, the states reporting that, dude. Like your election official talking. This is what we're talking about. There was 138,000 votes.
We're not questioning that. We're questioning.
Yes, he is. But DV is questioning it completely.
What about? No, I'm not questioning. What I'm questioning is who are we supposed to believe? Not if that. So
you don't want to believe the guys who are actually doing the counting now? Telling us that 138 ballots came in only for Biden at 4 a.m. after Election Day?
But that got reported through the media, right?
No. I just told you 3 times. I'm not going to tell you again. Okay, so that wasn't the media. I didn't get that from the media. I sent you the graphs. Okay, I sent you the actual graphs from the Institute. Okay.
I'm done with it. I say then, why don't we just do a complete recount? How about that?
I'm in.
How about that?
All right, guys, listen, this has been a fiery show. I think the title of this show, Treston, will be Statistical Anomalies. Questionable anomalies, mathematical anomalies. All right, guys, thank you. Hey, guys, I love you. Even though it's been fiery, I still love all you guys. You're still my brothers from other mothers. So thanks for joining me here.
I'm just going to go on the record and say my favorite panelist is Jay by far. You other guys, I don't know about y'all, but I put in a personal vote on the site for Jay.
I'm going to retract my last statement. I appreciate Willie and Jay, his mother's, but that DV guy, I don't know. I think he's
the guy with the girl's name.
It's time. The girl's name. Yeah, that my sister DV from another mother. Thank you, sister DV. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Until next week, guys. Give us hit the like button on this thing. Share it with your friends. Join us.
Hey, Scott. If they wanted to find us online, where would they find us?
They would find us at BigDivideShow.com.
You said bigdivideshow.com,
I said
right?
bigdivideshow.com.
No, I think
definitely said the bigdivideshow.com.
Bigdivideshow.com.
Yeah,
Go there.
right.
Let us know what you think. Pick your favorite host. Just make sure it's not Devi. And give us comments and mail. We'll talk about your stuff before we talk about our stuff because we love you more than we love ourselves. Hit us on YouTube, Spotify, on everything. And hopefully by next week, we'll have rooted out the fraud and Donald J. Trump will be the president. See you guys.
This has been The Big Divide. Don't forget to subscribe for your weekly dose of unfiltered and unapologetic conversation.
Done and done.
And of course, share this episode with all of your friends. Well, maybe not the sensitive ones.
You apologize right now. Do you have a question, topic, or opinion that you want to hear discussed? Go to bigdivideshow.com and tell us all about it.
Or simply look up Big Divide on Instagram or Facebook and send us a message.